You are not broke because of your bank account. You are broke because of a belief installed in you, before you were old enough to question it. And the cruelest part, it does not feel like a trap. It feels like common sense. It feels like caution. It feels like being realistic. You call it staying grounded. It is actually a leash. And every time you reach for more money, more freedom, more than what you were given, something inside you quietly pulls you back. Not because you lack ability, because somewhere along the way, you were taught that wanting more makes you greedy, that ambition is dangerous, that the safest place to stand is exactly where you started. This is the psychological trap keeping you broke, not a lack of opportunity, a ceiling built inside your own mind, and reinforced every single day you do not notice it. By the end of this video, you will see the bars, and once you see them, you cannot unsee them. Every human being carries an internal script about money, written before age 7, not by choice, by absorption. You watched how the adults around you flinched at bills. You heard the tone change when money was mentioned. You felt the tension in rooms you were too young to understand, and your nervous system did what nervous systems do. It made a decision to keep you safe. Money equals danger. Money equals conflict. Money equals something to fear, not something to hold. That decision was made for you decades ago, and you have been obeying it ever since. Carl Jung wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This is not fate. This is a script running in the background. Every time you undercharge, every time you hesitate to ask for what you are worth, every time you sabotage progress the moment it gets close, you are not failing. You are obeying. A part of you believes that staying small is the price of staying safe. And as long as that belief stays unconscious, no amount of effort will out-earn it. You can work twice as hard and still return to the exact same ceiling, because the ceiling is not outside you, it is inside you, mistaken for who you are. Here is what no one tells you about poverty thinking. It is comfortable, not pleasant. Comfortable. There is a strange relief in staying where you are. No risk of rejection. No risk of failure. No risk of becoming someone your family does not recognize. The cage is familiar, and the nervous system does not crave happiness. It craves familiarity, even when familiar means struggling, even when familiar means watching opportunities pass, because some part of you flinched first. Machiavelli understood this principle in a different context. He wrote that men resist change, not because the new way is worse, but because the old way is known. The known suffering feels safer than the unknown success. This is why people self-sabotage the moment things start working. A new client appears and they disappear. A raise becomes available and they freeze. Momentum builds and they create a crisis to slow it down. Not because they want to fail, because success is unfamiliar territory, and the mind treats unfamiliar as unsafe. You were never lazy. You were protecting a version of yourself that learned long ago visibility was risk. So how do you break a pattern you cannot see? You start by noticing the moment of contraction, that microsecond of tension, right before you ask for more, right before you raise your price, right before you say what you are actually worth. That contraction is the script activating. Most people obey it instantly and never notice it happened. The work is not to eliminate the contraction. The work is to feel it and act anyway. Every time you do, you send your nervous system new information. This was survivable. Nothing collapsed. You are still standing. Repeated enough times, the script begins to rewrite itself. Not through positive thinking, through repeated proof. The body believes evidence, not affirmations. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." You need a why bigger than the old fear. Not motivation, architecture. A reason strong enough that staying small finally costs more than the discomfort of growing. Because the truth is simple and brutal. The ceiling was never locked. You were holding it shut. And the moment you stop holding, it opens. Here is what they will not tell you in school. Wealth is not primarily a strategy problem. It is a permission problem. Most people have access to more information about building wealth than any generation in human history, and they remain stuck. Not from lack of knowledge, from an old, unexamined belief that more was never meant for them. The book of Proverbs says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." Notice, it does not say the intelligent. It says the diligent. Those who keep showing up, even while the old script screams to stop, especially while it screams to stop. Because the scream is not danger. It is an old voice, mistaking change for threat. You do not need to silence that voice. You only need to stop obeying it. The trap was never your circumstances. It was a story so old, you forgot it was a story at all. You mistook it for the truth about who you are. It was never the truth. It was just the first thing you were taught to believe. And the first thing is rarely the final thing, unless you let it be. Comment below, "I see the bars. Not for me," as proof to yourself that you finally noticed the cage. Because noticing is the only door that has ever existed. And if you are ready to keep walking through it, you already know what to do.